There is one group of people that hands down makes up the majority of individuals that I see who have removal orders and don't know it. And so who are these people who are most likely to have a removal order? These are individuals who entered through the border and were, on foot and were detained by immigration. So through a land border and detained by immigration. Or they had an encounter with immigration. What I mean is this. Oftentimes people tell me, oh, I don't have a removal order. I was just caught once at the border and returned home. And what they don't understand is that is it could be an expedited removal. In other words, it's not a judge deporting you. You didn't go in front of a judge, but the actual administration, it's an administrative order, gave you an expedited removal, okay? And that is a deportation. And then when you re-enter, you have a permanent bar if you re-enter without inspection. Also within this group of people are people who entered, were detained and were processed by ICE, and then they were given a notice to appear in court. They don't know what they were given. They were given a stack of papers, and then they never appear in court, and they have in absentia orders of removal. So they stayed in the U.S., and they say, oh, yeah, I was processed by immigration, but they let me in. And I'm like, no, they didn't let you in. They let you in temporarily with a notice to appear in court in front of an immigration judge to see if you can stay. And a lot of times people ignore the stack of papers. They're in English. They might not understand them, and then they don't update their address with immigration, and then they're sent a notice to appear in court to some address that they gave when they enter, and they no longer live at the address or know anyone at the address. They're sent a court date, and they never go to court, and then they have an in absentia order of removal. So if you have either of those two scenarios where you were detained at the border and returned, and then you re-entered, even if you are sure it is not an expedited removal, unless you have the paperwork, you need to FOIA. Also, if you were processed by immigration at some point, you're like, oh yeah, I was processed, but I lost those papers, you need to do a FOIA. Because both of those scenarios are very probable that those individuals have removal orders or deportation orders.